the old 250 Pro XS. Just flushed it. And I've got the lower unit in here. Just see what it looked like. Seemed like I had low pressure. I was out before, so thought I'd flush it. Put a new water pump in it. Which, I don't know, man. I mean, it looked pretty good. Didn't look damaged or anything. There it is. Looks fine. Still lots of tabs. But I got a new one. I got a new one coming. Well, there's so much going on. I was trying to figure out something to shoot that everybody would enjoy. But wait till time I've got to do a repair on that one. Needs a new water jacket and stuff, and I just put this came off a little John boat, and it had this Vance jack plate on it, which you got a 35 horsepower, so I had to it wouldn't mount on here, the 35 he's got, so I replaced that. And here's the 35 he's got. So I went ahead and mounted it. And so this is a new motor to this guy. And he just wanted more horsepower. So I adjusted it about 3.5 inches from the bottom of his. And it's got tilt and trim. So I had to do a tilt and trim job on this. And this is like that Evinrude that I did. And something to know about these, because this is really the biggest issue with doing them, is the top pin and this pin that holds the bottom of the, of the cylinder and the motor, the electric motor that's on the other side. And they get stuck. So, like, you got these bushings, they're just plastic bushings. I have one that's in the cylinder and one on the motor side, and then inside this plate there's another bushing here, and then the rod goes all the way through. And some of them you can knock them out pretty easy, but if they do not want to move, I mean, you could suck them down, and they're not gonna move if they're stuck. I mean, that's what it is. So likely, you're gonna be afraid you're gonna damage this, or you're gonna damage the pin, but it's leaking. What are you gonna do? The best thing that I found or figured out to do is loosen your, I should have had this tilted up, but I'm just filming. You want to tilt it all the way up, and then you'll use your tool. There's a 3-prong tool you got to get. It's 35 millimeter by 6 millimeter, and you just put it in. It's like dowel pins. Put it in there, break it loose, get it come all the way up. Okay, and then when you tilt that up, it's going to bring the ram up. And like on this engine, it's got the little things where you can, sometimes these are stuck, usually these are stuck. That's usually a real good indication that like the other bolts are stuck. But you can you can break this one loose and you can get it moving good, and you need to, because you kind of almost got to do that first. Just get this loose, but you're going to tilt it all the way up, and then if you get it loose, then you can lock it where the motor's resting on this. And for safety, I use my motor lift. And once I get it up in the air, then in the back, I just take a strap, support it, so it, you know, it can't fall. Because when you're working in here, you know, there's no reason for anybody to get hurt. And it could easily happen. I mean, if this thing fell, I mean, it'd take off your finger. If you had your hand in there, I mean, I don't know, man. That's a lot of weight. 150 pounds crushing down. But anyway, you get it locked, you get the cap loose, and you get it up in the air. So once you get this up, the piston arm will go up, and you can get it all the way to the edge of the cylinder. And then what you got to do is, like, you got to get it to moving. So you can get it to move kind of a little bit, and if it won't move, because you're going to have to get it to move, because when the cylinder operates, it's going to turn slightly up and down. So what you want to do is just get you a block of wood. It's just a little 2x4. You don't want to beat on the cylinder. I mean, it is aluminum. But you get a block of wood and get you like a 2-pound hammer and just kind of slowly knock it back and loosen that up. And then, like, this one was so stuck, I had to kind of pry it down. But as you do that, it'll move a little bit, and then eventually you'll be able to get that arm up out of the cylinder. And then it's easy, because everything else you can break loose while it's off. You know, like you got over here, you know, you got your fill, right? You got your fill, and then that bottom, you got, I don't remember which one it is, but this is like the up valve, and then on the back side is the same thing. It's an up valve, and then there's a hex nut that you got to loose. You replace all those O-ring in here, and then this is your manual release valve. And I'll tell you, if this is not leaking and it doesn't want to seem to move, don't mess with it, because you'll break it. I mean, you'll just break it, and then you're gonna have to go get another manual release valve, and they're not cheap. They're probably $100. And this one I ended up painting, so it's really not the right same color, white, but it was like, I mean, it's the best I could do. Couldn't find anything that would really match it. So, I mean, because you got faded color. I mean, this one needs to be cleaned up real good. Somebody needs to wash it down real good. Anyway, that's one thing, you know, when you're going to do a trim unit. Those trim units, they're really not that hard to do. Just take your time. The biggest thing is in there, when the piston's up in the air, you got there's check valves, I think is what they call them. And I think there's 6 with this. And there's like a BB, ball bearing BB, and then there's a little, I don't know, plastic piece, and that goes in there, and then a spring, and then there's like a plate that goes over it, a washer. And so you have to break that nut and get it off, but just hold it. And the only trick to this is when you put that on, maybe lay down on the ground, lay a cover, in case it's like you lose your grip or something, you don't drop those BBs and everything, you never find them. But if you got a big enough cover, they won't go anywhere. I mean, I've dropped them before, and I recovered everything. So that's the only other trick. And then putting it on, you know, you bend this back up, and if you fill this thing all the way, like it's I fill it, I don't know, to about 80%, 75-80% of some ATF, automatic transmission fluid. I get the premium. You don't have to do +4. It's kind of a 4. I mean, you could. I don't think it would hurt anything, but just premium, it's cheaper anyway. And fill that up, and then when you put your, I'm sorry, it's the valve. You know, when you put that in there, you just have to slowly go back and forth until you get the top cap lined up, and it'll go down in there real easy, because you don't want to strip that, so just be careful with that. That's pretty much, you know, I just did an Evinrude video on a trim repair, so just a few things. So, you know, then you don't have to take out the top pin, you don't have to remove this. You know, if you try to beat this off and it's locked in there, all you're going to do is mushroom this out, and then you're going to have to try to tap it. I'm sorry, would you say tap or die? Die. You'd want to die this bolt that's, you know, to get it back on. And I've had to take a Dremel tool around this before and like grind it down so and then take my die, and it's not an easy job. It's just, so if you get one when they're really stuck like that, you know, just don't even try to remove that rod. You know, even if you have like a punch, eventually this bolt will flare out. I mean, if they're that stuck, I mean, they will flare out, because just trust me on this one. And the other thing is too, like, you know, if you're really beating on it, I mean, you could possibly damage your mounting plate. So we don't want to do any of that stuff. Alright, so moving on. I got the Evinrude 65, and I just put a video out on it. And I'm telling you, man, I'm just going to stop because I'm waiting for the customer. I kind of want to get a deposit on it, because I don't want to do a bunch of work and then he's like, I'm not going to do, or he didn't want to pay me. I've never done any business with the guy. I'm sure it's fine, but I'm not even asking for much of a deposit. So if he gives me a deposit, then I know he's serious, because there's going to be some work I got to do on it, and I'm still like, I don't know, you know. I looked up that amplifier that's on the back of here, which you can kind of see, and man, like, they want like $300 for that. I haven't even seen it lower than like $280. So, you know, you gotta check the rectifier, you gotta check the stator, check all the points. I mean, there's several hours of doing all that stuff to run down what the problem is. I just don't want to tell the guy, yeah, it's not going to run. I know it'll run, but then how much he's not real clear about what he's wanting to spend. He's just like, oh, go fix it, but, you know, I want to know he's going to pay me. So anyway, I got that going. Got another one coming, and trying to sell my other boat. This guy's supposed to come tomorrow and get this out of here. And I got a 20 that, man, I'm really behind on. I got to get that 20 done and get it out here, flush it, put a water pump on it, and get it to run so I can get it up for sale. There's another 35 over there I got to work on. I got a 40 for sale. And then I got a 50, like, for the guys that were, you know, on the 500 series, the 50 horsepower 500. I've got a power head for a short shaft, but I can't find a switch box. They're so old, you can't find them. And they want a lot of money online for a used one. So when somebody's just getting rid of one, they don't want to. They don't want to. They don't care how much, $100 you have the engine. Then maybe I'll get one, but I can't do anything. I got every part that I need for that. I need every one, but I don't have the switch box. Without the switch box, it's dead in the water. There's the short part of it, the short midsection over here. Just laying there. That's another 35 that I bought from a guy, but it's not. I can't remember, but I don't think this one's electric start. So, it is electric start. That's probably the one. I probably need to get that up and running so I can sell it. Probably wouldn't be that hard on that one. And then I got another 20 for parts, but the 20s are all pull rope, and I don't have any parts for that to make one of those run. I mean, being electric start, I don't have the starter, and I do have a flywheel that's, it's notched, like you could use electric start. So like this one, see, it doesn't have any, it's just a pull rope. So if I had the bracket, I got another one out there that, it's got the notches on the flywheel for a starter. I could make one of those electric. I'd have to get a starter. Although I may have a starter. I know I got a couple of Johnson ones. Most of those are Mercuries, and they're for, bigger engines. Let's see here. What else? I don't know. I got a bunch. I got another. And somebody should hit me up. I got these are like early 50. I think it's an early 80s 50 to, I think 50, 65. I think they went 40, 50, and 65. I got a lower unit I got two lower units. And then I got another one. Well, no, that's the short shaft, I think. Yeah, that's the short shaft. But I got one back there. So I got like 4 lower units over here, or at least 3 of them that I could sell. So if anybody is interested in that, and then those are off the 20s. So that one's all chewed up. It's all messed up. This one I don't know about yet. I think that's a good lower unit. And that's a good lower unit. That's the one that's getting ready to go on the 20. Anyway, I guess that's enough for now. Just kind of try to keep moving along.